You're standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you, the world is in chaos. People screaming, panicking, drowning in their own emotions. Above you, nothing but cold. Clear air and a choice. Stay down there with them, or climb up here where the air is thin. Where survival isn't about feeling, it's about thinking. Most people never make it this high. They can't, because when life hits them hard, they crumble. They cry, they rage, they let their hearts drive while their mind sits blindfolded in the back seat. And that's exactly when the world devours them. Niccolo Machiavelli watched it happen. Kings fell, empires crumbled, not from war, but from weakness. They felt too much, thought too little, and their emotions killed them before any sword ever could. So Machiavelli wrote the code: stay cold, stay sharp. While they panic, you breathe. While they burn, you freeze. The coldest one always wins. This isn't about being heartless. It's about being unshakable. It's about walking through fire without flinching. It's about holding a sword in one hand and a smile on your face. Because you know something they don't. Emotions are weapons, and if you don't control yours, someone else will use them to destroy you. Today I'm going to share 7 brutal truths Machiavelli understood. Truths most people will never learn. These aren't cute tips. These are survival strategies. The kind that separate those who lead from those who follow, those who win from those who lose, those who stay standing when everyone else is on their knees. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're hurt, tired, or overwhelmed. It will test you. It will push you. And if you break, it moves on without a second thought. So the question is simple. Will you stay soft and let the world shape you? Or will you become stone cold, unmovable, unbreakable? If you're ready to stop being a victim of your own emotions and start mastering them, keep watching. What comes next will change the way you see power, control, and yourself. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am unbreakable stone. Let's begin. Number 1, keep your mind cold. See truth clearly. Listen carefully. Your biggest enemy isn't out there. It's not your rival, not the person who wronged you, not even the world itself. Your biggest enemy is the fog inside your own head. The one that rolls in every time you let your feelings take the wheel. Most people walk through life blind, not because they can't see, but because they refuse to. They see what feels comfortable, what matches their anger, their fear, their hope. And that's exactly how they lose. A hot mind is a clouded mind. When you're angry, you miss details. When you're afraid, you see threats that aren't real. When you're too hopeful, you ignore the knife heading straight for your back. Temperature rises, clarity drops. It's that simple. Machiavelli understood something brutally honest. Truth doesn't care about your comfort. It just waits. And only a cold mind can see it. When everyone else is screaming about what they think is happening, you're the one actually observing what is happening. Think about it. How many terrible decisions have you made in a heated moment? How many times have you said something you regretted because emotion hijacked your mouth? How many opportunities have you destroyed because you couldn't see past your own feelings? The answer is probably more than you want to admit, and that's the problem. We've been taught that passion is power, that feeling deeply means living fully. But nobody tells you the other side. Passion without control is just chaos in disguise. A cold mind doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let feelings distort reality. You feel the anger, but you don't let it blind you. You feel the pain, but you don't let it paralyze you. You acknowledge the emotion, then put it aside and ask the only question that matters. What is actually true here? This is where most people fail. They take their emotional reaction and mistake it for truth. Someone disrespects them, and suddenly that person is pure evil. Someone praises them, and suddenly that person is trustworthy. Neither is true. Both are just temperature readings from a hot mind. The cold mind strips away the noise. It looks at patterns, not moments. Actions, not words. Results, not intentions. It doesn't ask, how does this make me feel? It asks, what does this actually mean? Machiavelli once said, the wise man does at once what the fool does. Finally, what separates the wise from the fool? Temperature. The wise see clearly from the start because their mind stays cold. The fool sees clearly only after the damage is done, when the heat finally dies down, and reality can no longer be avoided. You want power? Start here. Cool down, not your passion for life, but your reaction to it. Let your mind become a sheet of ice, clear, unshakable, reflective of truth, not distorted by heat. Because when your mind is cold, you see everything. And when you see everything, nobody can deceive you, not even yourself. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind stays cold. Number 2, do not act from emotion, act with intention. This is where most people destroy themselves. They move when they're heated, strike when they're angry, decide when they're hurt, and then wake up the next day wondering why everything fell apart. Action without intention is just noise. It's movement without direction. You're swinging punches in the dark, hoping one lands, while someone with a plan stands right behind you, waiting for you to exhaust yourself. Emotion makes you predictable. When you act from rage, everyone knows exactly what you'll do. When you act from fear, they can see your next move before you even make it. When you act from desperation, you become easy to manipulate. You're not dangerous. You're transparent. Intention is different. Intention means you know exactly why you're moving. You've calculated the cost. You've measured the outcome. You're not reacting to what just happened. You're creating what happens next. That is the gap between survival and dominance. Every action you take should have purpose, not feeling, not impulse, purpose. Ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve? Not how do I feel right now, but what do I actually want from this situation? These are two completely different questions, and only one leads to power. Think about the last time someone provoked you. Maybe they insulted you, challenged you, tried to make you look small. What did you do? Did you snap back immediately? Did you defend yourself right in the moment? If you did, you lost, because they got exactly what they wanted, your reaction. But if you paused, if you stayed silent, if you smiled and walked away while they expected an explosion, that's when you won. Because your action wasn't driven by their provocation. It was driven by your own intention. You chose your response. They didn't. Intentional action requires patience. It requires sitting with discomfort, feeling the anger burning and still not moving, recognizing the urge and deliberately ignoring it until you've decided, not felt, what serves you best. This is how you become unpredictable. This is how you stay 10 steps ahead. While everyone else acts from their last emotion, you act from your next goal. Machiavelli once said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." Why? Because force is emotional. It's loud. It reveals your hand. Intention. Intention is quiet, strategic. It doesn't announce itself. It simply executes. And by the time anyone realizes what happened, you're already gone. Stop letting your emotions write your story. They're terrible authors, creating drama without substance, conflict without victory, chaos without purpose. You don't need that. What you need is control. Control over your actions, your timing, your outcomes. From this moment forward, before you act, ask, is this emotion or intention? Am I moving because I feel something or because I want something? One makes you a puppet. The other makes you a player. Choose wisely. The world rewards intention and punishes emotion. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I act with purpose. Number 3, never react first. Hold your power. The first one to react is the first one to lose. Remember that. Carve it into your brain. In any conflict, any negotiation, any moment of tension, whoever moves first reveals their weakness. Reaction is surrender. It's giving away your position, showing your cards before anyone else has to show theirs. Once you've reacted, you've handed them the map to your vulnerabilities. They know what triggers you. They know where you're soft. They know exactly how to strike again. Power isn't loud. It isn't fast. Power sits. Power waits. Power watches you scramble while it remains perfectly still. Because the person who can afford to wait is the person who doesn't need anything from you. And that terrifies people. When someone attacks you verbally or mentally, they're expecting a response. They want you to defend yourself, explain yourself, justify yourself. They're waiting for you to flinch. And the second you do, they've won, not because they were right, but because they controlled you. So what do you do instead? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Absorb the hit like stone absorbs rain. Let their words bounce off. Let their aggression exhaust itself. Give them silence where they expected war. And that silence, that's the most violent thing you can offer. Silence is dominance. It forces them to fill the void. It makes them uncomfortable. They start second-guessing themselves. Why isn't this working? Why aren't they breaking? And while they spiral, you're observing, learning, collecting data about who they really are beneath the noise. This doesn't mean you never respond. It means you respond on your terms, not theirs, not in their timing, not with their energy. You let the situation breathe. You let them show their full hand. Then when you're ready, not when they want you to be ready, you make your move calculated, precise, devastating. Reacting first is playing their game. Responding later is making them play yours. See the difference? One is defense. The other is offense disguised as patience. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The fox waits. The fox watches the trap being set. The fox doesn't rush in just because something looks tempting. The fox holds back, analyzes, then either avoids the trap entirely or turns it against the trapper. That's what you become when you refuse to react first. People will test you. They'll push your buttons. They'll try to pull you into their chaos. Let them try. Let them waste their energy. Let them think they're getting to you. Meanwhile, you're building something they can't see. Advantage, knowledge, leverage. The world belongs to those who can sit still while everything burns around them. Not because they're numb, but because they understand this. Whoever panics first dies first. Whoever reacts first bleeds first. Whoever breaks composure first loses everything. Hold your power. Don't spend it on reactions. Save it for what actually matters. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I hold my power. Number 4, control your tone. Control your heartbeat. Your voice betrays you. Your breath gives you away. Your hands shake when you think nobody's watching, and they see it all. Every crack, every tremor, every sign that you're losing your grip. Inside you think words matter most. Wrong. It's how you say them. A threat delivered with a trembling voice is a joke. A compliment delivered with steady eyes is a warning. People don't just hear you, they read you. And if your body screams fear while your mouth claims strength, you've already lost. Tone is everything. It's the difference between commanding respect and begging for it. Between being taken seriously and being dismissed. You can say the exact same sentence 2 different ways and get 2 completely opposite results. One makes people lean in. The other makes them walk away. When your tone rises, you've lost control. When it cracks, you've revealed doubt. When it speeds up, you've shown panic. Every fluctuation is a signal, and sharp. People read signals like they read text messages, instantly, accurately, ruthlessly. So you flatten it. You slow it down. You make every word deliberate, not robotic, that's fake, but measured, steady. Like you've said this 1,000 times before, and you'll say it 1,000 times again. Like nothing they do can rattle what's inside you. But tone is only the surface. Beneath it is something even more powerful. Your heartbeat. When your heart races, your body follows. Your breathing gets shallow. Your thoughts scatter. Your decisions get sloppy. You're operating from survival mode, not strategic mode. And survival mode makes you small. Learn to slow your pulse, not just physically, but mentally. When pressure hits, when the stakes rise, when everyone expects you to crack, that's when you breathe deeper, longer. Force your body to believe there's no threat. Because if your body believes it, your mind follows. And if your mind believes it, your presence becomes unshakable. This is physical discipline. This is training yourself to stay calm when biology screams at you to panic. It's overriding every instinct that tells you to speed up, to raise your voice, to rush your words. Instead, you do the opposite. You slow everything down until you're moving in a different time zone than everyone else. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." Translation: what people see matters more than what actually is. They see your tone, they see your composure, they see whether you're shaking or standing firm, and they make their judgments based on that. So control what they see. Control the signals you're sending. Control the narrative your body is telling. When you master your tone, you master the conversation. When you master your heartbeat, you master the moment. People will throw chaos at you, expecting you to catch it and throw it back. Instead, you let it drop. You stand there calm, cold, while they're breathing hard and sweating, and they'll wonder how you do it. The answer is simple. You decided your body doesn't get to make choices for you anymore. You do. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my signal. Number 5. Endure pain, never panic. Pain is inevitable. Panic is a choice. And that choice determines whether you survive or collapse. Everyone gets hit. Everyone bleeds. Everyone faces moments where the ground disappears beneath them and gravity pulls hard. The difference between those who rise and those who stay down isn't about avoiding pain. It's about what you do when pain arrives. Most people panic the second discomfort shows up. They scramble. They flail. They make desperate moves trying to escape what's happening. And that desperation, it makes everything worse. Panic doesn't solve problems. It multiplies them. Panic is your brain on fire. It shuts down logic. It blocks strategy. It turns you into a wounded animal thrashing in a trap, making the wounds deeper with every movement. And while you're busy destroying yourself, your enemies are watching, waiting, letting you do their work for them. Endurance is different. Endurance says, "This hurts, and I'm staying anyway." It doesn't pretend the pain isn't real. It doesn't ignore the damage. It simply refuses to let pain dictate behavior. You feel it. You acknowledge it. Then you keep moving forward as if it's not even there. This is mental armor. This is what separates survivors from casualties. Life will break your bones. It will tear your plans apart. It will take the things you love and burn them in front of you. And if you panic every time, you'll spend your entire existence running from ghosts. But if you endure, if you stand there while the fire burns and refuse to scream, you become something else entirely. You become proof that pain has limits, that suffering eventually runs out of fuel, that you can outlast anything if you refuse to quit. Machiavelli once said, "Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great." He's telling you something critical. Your will determines your capacity. If you decide beforehand that you will endure, no matter what, pain becomes just scenery. Uncomfortable scenery, sure, but not something that stops your journey. People will try to break you, with pressure, with hardship, with suffering. They'll apply pain and wait for you to fold. They expect panic. They're counting on it. So when you don't give it to them, when you stand there, taking hit after hit without breaking, they start to fear you. You're no longer operating by normal human limits. This doesn't mean you're immune to pain. It means you've trained yourself to function through it. Athletes do this. Soldiers do this. Anyone who's ever achieved anything difficult does this. They learn that pain is just information. It's not a stop sign. It's not permission to quit. It's your body complaining while you keep going anyway. The next time life hits, and it will, don't panic. Don't spiral. Don't make frantic decisions trying to escape discomfort. Just breathe. Acknowledge what's happening. Then ask yourself, can I take one more step? The answer is always yes. And if you can take one more, you can take another and another until the pain is behind you and you're still standing. That's endurance. That's power. That's how you win. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pain cannot stop me. Number 6. Stay calm while others burn. Chaos is opportunity, but only if you're not drowning in it with everyone else. Look around. Watch what happens when pressure arrives, when deadlines hit, when stakes rise, when uncertainty creeps in. Most people implode. They lose their composure. They start making noise, complaining, stressing, broadcasting their anxiety to anyone who'll listen. And in that moment, they become invisible because burning people have no value. But you stay still, you stay quiet, you stay focused, and suddenly everyone's looking at you. Not because you're doing anything flashy, but because you're the only one not falling apart. That makes you rare. That makes you valuable. That makes you the one people turn to when everything's on fire. Calmness in chaos is leadership without the title. It's authority without the announcement. When everyone else is losing their minds, the person who keeps theirs becomes the center of gravity. People orbit around stability. They're drawn to it. They depend on it, especially when their own foundations are crumbling. This isn't about being unaffected. It's about being unshaken. You see the chaos. You feel the pressure. You understand the stakes. But you refuse to mirror the panic around you. You become the eye of the storm. Everything spins violently, but at your core there's only stillness. That stillness gives you an unfair advantage. While they're drowning in emotion, you're thinking clearly. While they're making desperate, reactive decisions, you're planning 3 moves ahead. While they're screaming about problems, you're quietly solving them, or better yet, watching them create new ones you'll exploit later. Staying calm doesn't mean staying passive. It means staying sharp. It means using their chaos as cover. It means making moves while they're distracted by their own meltdowns. Think about it. When's the best time to act? When everyone's eyes are on you, or when everyone's too busy freaking out to notice what you're doing. Machiavelli once said, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." He saw it centuries ago. Crisis reveals who's strong and who was only pretending. Pressure exposes the frauds. And when the frauds collapse, space opens up. Space for those who stayed cold. Space for those who didn't flinch. Space for you. But here's the warning. Don't announce your calmness. Don't parade it. Don't say, "Look how calm I am," while you're all panicking. That's arrogance. And arrogance makes you a target. Instead, just be calm. Let your steadiness speak for itself. Let others notice it naturally. Let them come to you, because they need what you have: stability. The world rewards those who stand firm when everything collapses, not because they're better people, but because they're more useful. They can see clearly. They can act decisively. They can carry weight when everyone else is dropping theirs. So when the fire comes, and it always comes, let them burn. Let them scream. Let them spiral. You just stand there breathing, watching, waiting. Because when the flames die down and the smoke clears, you'll still be standing. And they'll remember that. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Chaos cannot touch me. Number 7. Master your emotions before they master you. Here's the final truth, the one that ties everything together. Your emotions are not your friends. They are tools, dangerous tools. And if you don't learn to wield them, they will wield you. Most people live as slaves to their own feelings. They wake up and their mood decides their day. Someone says the wrong thing, and suddenly their whole week is ruined. Something doesn't go as planned, and they crumble. They aren't living, they're being lived, controlled by whatever emotion happens to be the loudest in the moment. That's not freedom, that's a prison, and the bars are built from feelings you never learned to control. Mastery doesn't mean killing your emotions. That's impossible and stupid. Emotions give you information. They alert you to danger. They tell you when something's wrong. They're part of being human. But being human doesn't mean being controlled. It means being aware. You feel anger, good. Now what are you going to do with it? Let it explode and destroy everything in its path? Or harness it, channel it, use it as fuel to build something better? You feel fear? Fine. Are you going to freeze and let it paralyze you? Or acknowledge it and move forward anyway? Mastery is the gap between feeling and action. It's the pause, the breath. The moment where you recognize what's rising inside you and decide. Consciously decide whether to follow it or override it. That decision point is everything. That's where free will actually lives. Without mastery, you're reactive, predictable, easily manipulated. Someone learns your triggers. They own you. They can pull your strings whenever they want. They can make you angry on command, afraid on demand, desperate on schedule. But when you master yourself, when you control that inner storm, no one can touch you. Machiavelli understood this. He saw that power doesn't come from killing emotion, it comes from controlling it. The ruler who masters himself is untouchable because no one can provoke him, no one can manipulate him, and no one can pull him off his path. Emotional control isn't coldness, it's freedom. The freedom to act instead of react, to choose instead of be chosen for, to move with precision while everyone else moves with impulse. That's mastery. That's real power. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I rule myself before I rule anything else. People can try to command you. They can scare you on demand. They can try to make you do exactly what they want by pressing the right emotional buttons. But when you master your emotions, you become untouchable. They can press all the buttons they want. Nothing happens. You've disconnected the wires. You've taken back control of your own operating system. You decide what you feel, and when you feel it, not them, not circumstances. Machiavelli once said, "Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past." Look at your past. Every major mistake you've made, trace it back. How many of them happened because emotion was in the driver's seat? How many bad decisions came from acting while heated? How many opportunities slipped away because fear held you back? The pattern is clear. Emotion ruled you and it cost you. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine every moment you stayed cold. Every time you paused, thought instead of reacted, chose strategy over impulse. Those are the moments you won. That's when you made the right call. That's when you had real power. The future you want isn't built on feelings. It's built on choices. Disciplined, intentional, strategic choices. And you can't make those choices if your emotions are driving. They're terrible drivers. They crash into everything. They take shortcuts that lead off cliffs. They speed when they should stop and stop when they should go. So take the wheel back. Master yourself. Because everything else, the cold mind, intentional action, patient response, controlled tone, endurance through pain, calm in chaos, flows from this one point. Mastery over the only thing you truly can control, yourself. Most people will never apply this. They'll watch this video, feel inspired for 5 minutes, and then go right back to being controlled by their emotions. Right back to reacting instead of responding. Right back to burning when they should stay ice cold. But you're not most people. You wouldn't have made it this far if you were. You understand now that coldness isn't cruelty, it's clarity. That control isn't suppression, it's strategy. The world doesn't reward the loudest voice or the hottest temper. It rewards the stillness, the patience, the one who sees clearly while everyone else is blind. This is your advantage. While they're drowning in their own chaos, you're building something they can't touch. While they're reacting to every little provocation, you're 10 steps ahead, moving with intention. While they panic at the first sign of pain, you endure. You outlast. You win. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Take these 7 lessons and apply them today. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. Because the world isn't waiting for you to get comfortable. It's testing you right now. And how you respond to that test determines everything. Before you go, if this video gave you something valuable, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe, because we're just getting started. More truth, more strategy, more of what actually works in the real world. Remember, the world belongs to the cold, the calm, the unshakable, the ones who refuse to break, no matter what comes. Be stone, be ice, be untouchable. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am cold as stone. Now go and show them what you're made of.